Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she's a broadcasting legend in North Texas. She's been on the air now for 30 years. Her incredible story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as many of you may know, the South Asian community in North Texas continues to grow by leaps and bounds. I'm told it's up around 500,000 right now, which is absolutely incredible. And where they go for their news, entertainment, and information is my next guest. Shabnam Modgil is in the studio. She's with FunAsia Radio. Thanks for coming on the show.
Not at all. Thanks for having me over.
Wow. So 30 years. I spent 25 years in TV news. That felt like a long time. Did it go by in an instant for you?
It almost seems like that, doesn't it? It's actually over 30 years, and it started off with a weekly show that I used to do for the India Association of North Texas. And that was once a week, Saturdays, on a 2-hour leased program on KNON. 89.3 FM, if you're familiar with that one.
That. Yeah.
Yes, and then, of course, it became part of my life, a daily life, 24 hours radio, about 2000. And since then, I talk in my sleep.
We've got some video of her on the radio we're going to play right now. Do you get people coming to you saying, I grew up listening to you?
Yes. And kids who've grown up here, because they listen to them. I do the morning show. Mm-hmm. So in the mornings, when the parents are taking them to school, they'll listen, and they've learned by heart, mugged up those words.
Yes.
And sometimes when I meet them at some community events, they go ahead and say them in exactly my accent and the way I talk. It's amazing, because they listen to it every morning, and so that's how
I think that is so cool, and you've been with them for so many big events. And if you think about natural disasters and COVID, let's talk about COVID for a minute, because I mean that was a game changer for everybody. They didn't have a playbook for that. How did you adapt to COVID?
Well, definitely, as most radios, the income is always advertising. And when businesses have gone down, obviously, marketing is the first budget that cuts off R&D and marketing. So marketing was the first thing that was cut off from their budget. And so here we are struggling for 2 years with COVID. But I'm very happy to say that we considered ourselves an essential business, continued with the news, continued giving all the information that we thought the community needed, didn't shut down for even a minute anywhere we were. So it went on and on.
And you're very philanthropic. I know you put a spotlight on a lot of nonprofits and great organizations that are trying to do good. Talk about your heart for philanthropy.
Sometimes it's giving back to where you grew up, the country you grew up. And I know that a lot of people in our community from South Asia want to give back to the community that they've grown. But at the same time, we also are very, very involved with communities right here, local communities, whether, of course, I've been very involved with the United Nations and then with the city of Dallas. So we have many other organizations here, the North Texas Food Bank, the Lions Club, and many other organizations that we are involved with locally, and they are the ones that step up when there's a disaster, a natural disaster, or some kind of a calamity in the world. So besides that, of course, whatever organizations touch your heart, whether it's for educating, whether it's for feeding people, whether it's for women and things like that. There's all kinds of demand, all kinds of need from the community. As the numbers grow, Jeff, all these needs and these organizations really have to step up, and that's what we try and help doing.
Yes, you're very active in the community. As I was researching for the show, I put your name into YouTube, and there's just dozens and dozens of videos. We found one, I think you were being honored at an event. There you are. Do you remember this event?
I think that's the U.S.-India Chamber of Commerce, as you can see there on that emblem on the podium. And I've been very involved with that organization also, and they are doing amazing stuff here, particularly Texas and India as far as businesses are concerned.
Yes.
Lots of collaborations and lots of travel back and forth by Indian delegations as well as those going from here. Even Governor Abbott had gone to India with a delegation. So being very involved with the U.S.-India Chamber of Commerce.
What is it about Dallas that is attracting so many people from South Asia?
I'd like to say the weather, because a major part of South Asia is, Delhi and Dallas are on the same latitude.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so I'm from Delhi, but of course Delhi is just one city of South Asia. But there's so much others. I would say education.
Yes.
We have some good school districts here, and I think education is very important for the South Asian community.
Yes.
And so it attracts a lot of people here. And if you notice, if you see the demographics, most of them are living in the top school districts right here in North Texas.
Absolutely. And if you look at every graduation ceremony, the valedictorian is from South Asia.
Yes.
And I just need to compliment that. I think the family values that you and your community brings to North Texas is just so necessary right now. Do you want
And so it is necessary, and something we'd like for it to pass down the generations.
Yes.
That those family values, the importance of education, hard work, community service, everything that we all should be doing.
Absolutely. And you and I have a mutual friend in Ruby Bandari, so we're going to give her a shout out. You were on her show several years ago. We've got a little bit of video from that. But she's just a bright light in the world, isn't she?
She is amazing. Like a breath of fresh air every time she walks in. I'm about 25 pounds heavier there, though. I don't know if you wanted to show that.
I didn't get approval before I showed this clip.
No, that's fine.
Tell us about Ruby. How did you first meet?
I've known her forever. She, of course, is a fashionista, great fashion designer, and so she makes us look good.
She really does.
My closet is full of her brand, Silk Threads.
Yes, Silk Threads.
Silk
and
Threads.
She's a legend. And I remember during the height of the pandemic, she was actually having some supply chain issues. And
Yes.
there were brides waiting for dresses. And do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
So she's absolutely amazing.
Of course, weddings couldn't wait at all.
Well, I want to take it full circle back to the beginning of your broadcasting career, because you never set out to become a broadcast legend. It just kind of happened. Like you said, as a little girl, did you ever have aspirations to be a broadcaster?
Not really specifically a broadcaster, but I love the microphone. I keep telling everyone, even till today, I'm most comfortable behind a microphone. So even when I was in school or college, I loved to debate, I loved to orate, I loved to MC and be out there in the forefront, and continues, I guess.
Now, as a host for a living, is it weird being the guest?
This is a little different. Normally, I'm the one who's interviewing, and here I'm answering all those questions to you, Jeff.
Well, you are absolutely delightful. I want you to talk to the young person out there who's trying to find a way, because young people, I think this next generation is a interesting generation, and they want to do well. They may not want to necessarily follow in their mother and father's footsteps. They want to carve their own way. What do you want to say to that teenager or young adult who is trying to find direction?
If you want to speak to the world at large, I think this is good. That's what I feel I do every morning. I speak to everyone. But at the same time, you also make some very good connections, very good personal relationships. And I've met the most beautiful people in all these years of broadcasting, whether I've interviewed them, whether I've worked with them, whether I've promoted them. We promote a lot of businesses, a lot of social organizations. And so you have that connection with the entire community. But more than that, it is just getting your message out to the world.
Yes.
Anything what you feel is important, what you feel, just like I'm telling you all this message. Similarly, one day all of you can go ahead and give that message out, which you think is correct for righteousness, what you think is right in this world, and you want to get that message out. I think that's what it is. Of course, you need that good voice, Jeff, as you know, but I feel voice is God-given, but what you say with that voice is what you do. It's what depends on you.
Wow. Well, here's to another 30 years.
Thank you.
She's just getting started. We're going to end with her website, which is FunAsia.net. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and putting a spotlight on so many wonderful organizations and individuals. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here on your in your studios here on your channel, and I want to wish you all the best, Jeff.
Thank you.
And hope you interview many more bright people.
Thank you. I'm so blessed. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.